Good evening. My name is Astro, and I'm an alcoholic. I'm actually not as nervous as I thought I would be, but um, I actually wrote in on one of my daily inventories that I wanted to speak at a meeting. So I guess that tonight is that night. So 10 minutes. Okay. I come from a long line of alcoholics and addicts. My mother is 3 years sober, and my father is, thank you. My father is still stuck in his addiction. I'm pretty sure that he doesn't really know that he has an addiction, but that's his business, not mine. But I had to grow up really fast. I come from a very abusive family. My mom and my dad never worked out because she was on drugs when I was probably before I was born, but she had me and my older sister in crack houses when we were 2 and 4. And my dad just, he didn't approve of that. So he took us because she wanted to put us in foster care. And he ended up meeting his wife that he's with now. And they've been together ever since I was 2, but she is my first abuser. She is my first bully. Um, I was raised pretty feral. I had no love in my household. It was a very weirdly blended family, and she was just very abusive, like mentally, physically, emotionally, verbally. Like she was just very toxic, and it was all based on alcohol. And she just tortured me from 2 to 21, and I'm 25 now, so I'm very blessed that I made it out of the hellhole alive. And just growing up for me was very tough because I had to grow up at 14. I was paying bills since 14. I was in school, and I just had to do a lot. Like I basically felt like Cinderella without the ball. Like I always had to like do chores, and there were 4 other kids in the house, and I was the only one that ever had to like do stuff. But my stepmom, I just feel like she was very envious of me. Like I just felt like there was something about the relationship that I had with my father that she just envied a lot, and she did everything in her power to just like take the light that was inside of me away. And she did a lot of like embarrassing things. Like when I would have company over, she would just embarrass me as much as she could. I used to sleep in a bathtub, and it was just very it was just very, very, very like fucked up, like the life that I was living. And I didn't actually start drinking until I was 21 because I was very afraid of my family. I was very afraid of God. um I was just afraid. Like I've been afraid my whole life. I was afraid of the world. Like I was just afraid of making a bad decision. um but I never really acted out. Like I never went to school and really acted out or really tried to do anything for attention because I was so afraid of my family. And my stepmom would always tell me that like she wanted to send me away. So I was just really afraid of that. And once I got into high school, um, I did start skipping, and that was pretty much the only thing that I did. Like kids would come to school with alcohol and water bottles, and like they would smoke weed in the back of the school or whatever. But I was so afraid of my parents that like I was just, oh, I can skip school and I can just like that'll just be my whole high school experience, just skipping school or whatever. But um, I ended up graduating, and my parents kicked me out because they said I was getting too comfortable in the house, which I really didn't understand. But um, I just knew that I had to get out of there, and I did. So I ended up getting my first apartment, and after I got my first apartment, I thought I was free, but it was weird because I didn't really realize how conditioned I was from living with my parents until I got my first apartment. Like I would walk to the store and I would literally like have to look over my shoulder that like somebody was going to tell me to come in the house, or like at a curfew or something. Like I was just very conditioned to just being indoors that I was so afraid to go outside into the world. And I ended up drinking heavily at 21, and it's crazy because 21 is the legal age in New Jersey that you can drink or whatever. But for me personally, I did it because I thought it was going to be fun, and it ended up turning into a nightmare for me. I was never like a partier, or like I was never the girl that was like in the in crowd. Like I just stayed indoors. I never did anything with my life. So um, drinking for the first time, like I actually had my first drink at 14, but once I started drinking, like when I was 21, it almost killed me. My appendix exploded on my 21st birthday, and I ended up spending my birthday in the hospital, and I was dead for 2 days. And once I came to, I couldn't speak, I couldn't do anything myself. And then the doctor told me that I couldn't drink ever again, that I would never be able to hold liquor in my system ever again. And I just thought that that was bullshit, because I was just like, it's just liquor. Like I don't really understand. But I started drinking again right after I got out of the hospital. I had a bag on my leg. I had like a spiked needle in my abdomen so it can get the abscess out of my system. And I was still drinking after that. But I just thought that because maybe if I put the hard liquor down and just drink wine coolers, that it would work, because wine coolers are more like juice. So I thought that it would have been a better alternative, but the wine coolers didn't last me very long. I started going right back to the hard liquor, and I never really realized why I was drinking. Like I knew that it was just because I wanted to have fun, and I never did anything with my life. So I thought that now that I'm 21 and I can drink and I can like go out and do whatever I want, that I can just drink and have fun. But for me personally, that's not how it went for me. I still stayed in the house. I was that lonely person who just drank on their couch in their apartment by themselves and just was suffering in silence. And it ended up turning like really bad once COVID hit. And I was stuck in the house with someone that I was dating. And this person ended up raping me. And I was stuck in the house with this person for 3 years. And my alcoholism ended up just skyrocketing. And I absolutely had no idea that I was an alcoholic, because I've never even heard the term alcoholic when I was back home. You only ever hear of an addict, but nobody ever explains an addict as also being an alcoholic. Nobody ever thinks that alcohol is a drug. But when I came out to California, I realized that while being in treatment, because I didn't believe in treatment, I didn't even know treatment was a thing. But I actually spoke to my mom about treatment, and I didn't really realize my disease until I came out here, and I acknowledge it. So I learned a lot about myself while being out in California. I had absolutely no idea what was going to happen to me when I moved out here, but I just knew that I needed an environmental change. So I came 6 hours all the way from the East Coast to California to get help. And every single day has been a blessing for me, because I've consistently decided to choose myself. And it's something that I've never done before, because I've only ever lived for other people. So me actually choosing to live for myself was one of the best things that I've ever done in my life. Building a relationship with my higher power was one of the best decisions I've ever made in my life. And I also want to thank Fred Brown, because without Fred Brown and without Primary Group, which I graduated today, thank you. If it wasn't for Fred Brown, I wouldn't know who I am today. And today I know that I am Astro. I know that I am strong. I know that I am resilient. I know that I'm brave. I know that I am beautiful. I know that I'm smart. I know all of these things about myself because of Fred Brown. And I know that no matter what, my higher power has my back. No matter what, I have a beautiful support team that I can rely on. And I'm in a room full of people who are dealing with the same thing. I'm in a room full of people who choose themselves every single day. And it's just a beautiful thing to see. And I just want to say that I am very grateful. And Roxy, I'm very grateful that this is yours, because you're doing this for us. You chose yourself and allowed us to choose us. You gave us a space to really identify who we are and learn exactly who we are. And I'm just so grateful for that. And Nancy, thank you for asking me to share, because I never really thought that I was ever going to have the guts to step outside of my comfort zone to do something like this, to speak in front of people who are just staring at me. But it's like, but it's a beautiful thing, because at the end of the day, whether I touch somebody or not. It's a matter of me. I'm actually doing this for myself, and it's helping me step outside of my comfort zone. So I just want to say thank y'all for letting me share, and